Welcome back, guys. Let's take a look at... Oh, looks like we got a new model. It's got to be good now. Stable Diffusion 3. What even is Stable Diffusion 3? It's the latest model for text-to-image generation from Stability AI. So that's cool. But what does medium mean? Well, medium means, I think, 2 billion parameters. Let me just check. I think there's an 8 billion parameter model, which is going to also come out. Where does it say that? I bet I've been past it. But the interesting thing is there are now 3 text encoders. So it's using the new T5XXL FP16, but you can also use the FP8. That's nice. It's half the size, I think. You've also got the SD3 medium include clips, which has clip G and clip L. Doesn't have the T5. And then you can also take all of the text encoders separately. So I'm going to go over that first, because basically that's something that a lot of people are getting confused with. So if you only take the SD3 medium, it doesn't come with any built-in stuff. That's basically, and the reason is so you can switch it out more easily once you have the other versions, the large, the small, or maybe even tiny. Who knows what they'll call it. But if you take a look in the text encoders, we've got clip G, clip L. And then we've also got the T5XXL FP16. Now, I've been using FP8 on my 4090. I think RTX cards should be good with the FP8. But anyway, you can, like I say, switch these out because you put these into your Comfy in the clip folder, right? Anyway, what I've done is I've just taken the big one. So I just bit the bullet, took the big one, and it's all built in. Because you can always just not use it. And I suppose I could just get this one because I technically have got the others anyway. But let's not get hung up on the details. What am I supposed to do with this thing? Well, if you get this one, or if you get this one and the clips and put them in the right place, or if you just get this one, you don't need the T5. You don't have to use it. So anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to go over to the Comfy. We're going to update our Comfy. Make sure you do that. Obviously, I have put up all of the images from my test run. There's like 400 of them or something. Wait, how many is that? 137, sorry. I swear there was more than that. The first like 20 are like upscaled examples. So the best ones, I think I upscaled. Unless it's changed it. Has it changed it? Right. So actually it's in reverse order. So if you reverse it, maybe you'll get the new ones first, the upscales first. Anyway, regardless, let's check out what this thing is. So what we're doing here is we're actually going to use the demo Comfy example workflows. So what I've done is I've updated my Comfy, right? So by that, I mean, open up the manager, update ComfyUI. That's all I've done. All right. Now, so let's take a look at this default workflow. This is the one that comes from the Huggingface. So you're going to have your SD3 medium, and then it's going to go clip, clip. And that's why you need to put all of those clip G, clip L, T5XXL, right? That's why you need to put those into your clip folder if you get the medium. I, however, just went for the medium, including clips with the T5. So in that case, all I've got to do is drag my clips like so. And that's all I've got to do. All right. Now, of course, make sure that you updated your Comfy. Good times. Once you've updated your Comfy and downloaded the thing, point it to your model, drag that across, and then I'm going to show you a few more little things that we can do. It does use Shift a bit like Cascade, and it's doing some zero out stuff after it's done the first 10% of the steps. We've got an interesting test prompt here, which we're going to have some fun with. And remember, if you're using an aspect ratio to generate your width and height, make sure it's based on an SDXL profile, 1 megapixel, 64, modulo or multiple by, okay? Whichever, I don't know, they all list it differently. I'm going to be using the defaults, which is 28, 4.5, DPM 2M, SGM uniform and 1. And we're going to have a little bit of fun. So first things first, let's make sure we got a fixed seed. And we'll get the first image. Let's go full screen here. Like so. That was pretty quick. So now we've got our first image. Let's see how we can make this better. So I'm going to drag this over here. I'm going to sort of drag that to there, and then I'm going to right click, and you'll notice now there's a whole bunch of stuff that we can do very easily. So first thing I'm going to do is just show you what happens, because I tested this. What happens when we put in a second pass? So there's the second pass. What's it doing here? Why is it doing what? What the heck? What the hecking heck? There we go. I don't know why it didn't just take the model from way back, but I suppose it makes sense for some reason, right? Probably so I can hook up my VE decoder. So we'll put a preview on it for now. So just to show you what we did there, we right-clicked on the K-sampler. There's a bunch of presets you can do now. So obviously I've just clicked on the second pass. I just wanted to show you something real quick. So if we just check the settings, it's not set correctly. So let's do 1024 and 1024. Gosh, 1024. And then we're going to get this, and we're going to copy the settings from the other one. So let's see, it was 28. It was 4.5. It was DPM2, not that one, the other one. And then it was SGM uniform. And that is all she wrote. So we also, so let's see here, first of all. So the latent is coming out the sampler into an upscale latent, which matches the same size. It's then using the same model and the same prompt and negative as everything else. And then we're feeding the latent that we had upscaled from the first pass into this one to get that. So if anything, what we probably should be doing here is actually putting that one to there and then taking this one to here. I know it's like, what? But basically, I want to get my preview of that, and then we can look at the, this would be the upscale. This would be what should have happened. And then up here will be our second pass. All right. Because I probably, well, we'll see. I probably won't keep it. Let's go. Stop opening menus, Comfy. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. Something's gone wrong. That's interesting. They are... Okay, so it ran, but it's giving me a weird error for some reason. Let's have a look what we got. Executed prompts, node, output, images, file name, temp. I don't know. Here we go. Input is missing. Conditioning 1 and 2. Doesn't look missing. What's happened? What's happened here? It created an extra one on top. Right, so let's just mirror that quickly. There we go. And we'll go again. Because when I made Trio, I noticed that it didn't make any difference. It just makes the same image again and again and again. Actually, that has worked. But is it because we've changed the seed? Let's just check. So what seed are we running? And this is basically the process my peoples have to go through. I'm sure if you've done this, there we go. So put in the same seed and we get the same image. So actually, you see what I'm saying? The Hiresfix didn't actually do well, let's just put a save node in so we can actually see. Then I can show both images one after the other. So there we go. So that would be the second pass. That would be the first. And if you notice when I go between them, they look pixel identical. I mean, maybe if I put them in Photoshop and did a difference, you might find a slight shadow of variance, but it's imperceivable to the human eye there. So it's sort of like, yeah, you might think that it's doing something, but actually it's just, if I go to the next seed there and run it, you'll get a different image. But then if I go to a different seed, the same next seed, now they'll match. So it's actually not, this isn't really doing anything. You get the same effect out of just having a different seed. So won't bother with doing multiple passes. Look, see? Same image. There's no difference. So what I learned there is that whatever they've done with the architecture is basically like, it's not like SDXL or 1.5 where you could kind of like, you know, reprocess the latent. The effect is actually you're blending two seeds, which is still fine. That will still, you can still get good images. But the point is, if you just run the seed that you were running, you'll actually get that image without having to do any of this stuff, right? So now let's see what happens when we do the same thing with Hiresfix. Hiresfix. Okay, so we take the Hiresfix up there, we take the thing up there, and we chuck that down. So, whoops. I deleted the decoder. That's not very nice. I had to pull that out myself. Right, so we take the decoder, throw that there, and do you know what? This is a bit silly. I'm just going to get it from the original. So where is my thing? Yeah. So it got the model right anyway. Okay, cool. So it's just the VAEs. So we'll do the VAEs. There we go. And again, we're going to match because I don't want to be doing this whole, oh, it's different, but actually it's just loading a different seed again. So we're going to go with the same seed and we're going to match the same resolution. There we go. 1024, 1024. And then we're going to go 28. And then we're going to go 4.5. DPN. And then uniform. Okay. And so now what we've got is we've got our original and we've got our Hiresfix. Yeah. So off we go. Okay. Now, are they different? Nope, not different. So we'll do the done check again. I'll put the next seed on the Hiresfix and we'll see a different image. Yep, and then just to double check it, because you'd think, oh, wow, the Hiresfix worked, because that's what I thought. And then you change the seed over here. Do they match? No, they don't. Ooh, that means Hiresfix is working, even with the same settings. That's interesting. That gives a route to Trio, you know. Because we're upscaling to the same size and then we're doing another K-sampler with the same settings, which is essentially what we were doing before. So let's just double check that these actually match, because I don't want to be convincing myself. It doesn't look there. It doesn't look like they matched. Yeah, see, I was combining seeds again. I obviously didn't do the test proper. So if these now are the same, Hiresfix doesn't do anything and I just trick myself again. That's how easy it is. Oh, no. Okay, so we look at the first. So that's the first gen. That's the Hiresfix. Damn, they're the same. You see, I just fooled myself again in the testing because I actually somehow had the numbers wrong. I thought I had them synced up. It's because I got it on randomizer. That's why. That's what happened. So I just click next. That doesn't work. So fixed and fixed. So we'll make sure we've got the same number. And if I is that randomize? Just make sure. Yeah, it won't make the image because I've already made it. So in that case, up 1 and up 1. Now we'll get a new image that's the same on both sides. Okay. It's the same image. We need to get that meme up on the screen. Okay, so quick intermission. Remember, the full gallery is up on my 5below5.uk gallery, which you can find here. There's also a radio station playing on here. You can check it out. It's pretty cool. Anyway, back to the video. So, it's another bust, guys. It doesn't actually make it better. So that means we will delete it. So that's gone. We'll get rid of that. Hook that up to there. In fact, we probably wanted the save image for this one. So yeah, we'll just move her over. Make that a bit bigger. And then delete it. There we go. Right, now we've got our output. What I want to do, because obviously we've got ourselves a clean workflow just out of the box. I'm going to disable that just because I'm not using that component right now. You can do a lot of stuff by increasing shift. Values of 3 to 8 seem to increase the dynamics. So if I just demonstrate that real fast, this might explode. But I just wanted to show you that that's the reason there's not going to be an SD3 trio. Even though trio is a cool workflow, it's not, there's no real need to run 3 samplers because you just get the same result. So it's kind of like all you're doing is mixing seeds if you think you're getting a different result, because whatever seed is in the last latent is going to be the one that you could have just had first time round. And then it's like obviously much, much quicker and less computation. But anyway, this is actually, like I said, in terms of image quality, this is pretty good. But as you see, the prompt is like a big, long sentence. It's a very semantic prompt is what I'd say, because it's almost like how you would describe something in a conversation, right? Now, something interesting as well is there is a different node for the clip text encode. What the hell, why is there 2 of them there? Are there 2 of them there? No, that's weird. So what I've done is I've made a variant which uses this node, and this node is called clip text encode SD3. What I've done is I've gone into widget input and I've converted them to inputs, right? Then I've used a reroute to feed all 3 of them, and then we've put the exact same prompt in. Let's just, oops, spoilers. Oh, genres, there we go. Okay, cool. So then what I've done is it's just so that I can control which clip is actually being given something and what is being given, right? So, right. If I now go to... oh, yeah, true. This is the result of 8 shift on the same seed. So I'm just going to take the same seeds. We've just got a bit of continuity here. So I'm just going to shove that there. So we get the same seed. So just to show you, if we now generate an image, having put in this, what's the difference between using the standard clip input and, so, right, there we go. Go up to 77, and then do the same thing, go up to 77. And here we're going to make the image. So this was using the clip text encode, which is in the default, and it gives an image like this. Strange. But that's what it did. So that's what it did. There's the image. Okie dokie. Right, cool. Right, cool. So now we'll go over to the other one and do it again. Right. So if I look at that image, and then look at that image, it's different. It is a little bit different. So this is with the standard input, I believe. Yeah, the standard input gives you an image like that. But then when you use all 3, you get that. So it does have an effect just putting the exact same prompt into all 3. One thing I noticed is this is a very semantic type of prompt. So that tends to be what Clip G was good at. Now, it might be that T5XXL is even better at the spoken word type prompt, because this is very much like a story almost, right? But I know L typically wanted comma-separated words. I also noticed that people had a lot of success with multi-line prompts when they were using T5. So I wondered, well, what happens if I use a multi-line and I say something like diffuse light and then cinematic? I'm sorry to be so like generic, but this is, I'm trying to sort of get it across that. Anyway, you'll see. So it's the same seed here. And we do get a difference, all right? It's giving a difference. And if we zoom in here, these details are actually pretty good, all right? So what I thought next was, well, when I get a good one, you know, obviously aspect ratios aside, because we could get aspect. I've made one as well called aspect size, but I do need to update it for SD3. But if I use SDXL aspect ratio, which is from a custom node, 1024 by 1020. Is this one any good? Let me just check. 60 go 16 to 9, 64, 64. I hope that's the modulo. So what we do is we right click the empty SD3 latent image, and then we'll take convert widget to width, and then we'll take convert widget to width and height like this, and then we just plug them in. Wait, what? Oh dear. Send me through a loop. There we go. So, like so. Right, there we go. I believe that's how you set it up. I think that this is the amount, the minimum amount that you put in here, and then it's going to, you know, do that. So let's just run one and see if it breaks. Should be fine. Now we'll get a nice widescreen. Yep, got a widescreen now. Cool, cool, cool. Right, and so basically what I'm trying to say is it does work. You know, you can have quite a long detailed prompt, make a new line, and then put some comma-separated values in here. You know, what did I say? Neon accents, you know? And the funny thing is, I bet you could even go down and say grungy, what's it? Grungy punk atmosphere, misty environment. You know, I reckon you could, I haven't even tried this, but I reckon, and this isn't even the multi-line workflow. We're kind of building our own stuff now off of the back of the base. The base. Now, I hope I don't have to, you know, edit out any slips here, because apparently it can't make nipples, much to the frustration of some people in the community, but it makes tasteful images as far as I can see. So whatever. Right. So naturally, the thing that I'm going to want to do next is, now I've got my, you know, rockin' seed with my cool image that I've made, right? Because we're not going to start putting in text and stuff. We'll do that in a sec. I'll show you that. It's actually, do you know what? Why not? Let's do it real quick. So it's hit and miss, see? If I just say assign, what was it? No, sign. Was it sign? I think, yeah, sign SD3. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I could have said she's holding a sign in the main prompt, but probably will be like too weak, actually. It's like line 4. I don't know. It might pick up on it. Ah, it's down in the bottom right corner. SD3. Yeah, see, I think I should have probably, you know, there's a lot of other stuff here which is going to drown out that. But anyway, I just wanted to sort of, you know, that's the sort of syntax. You could say text, this, sign, assign reads, holding a sign, reading, that kind of stuff will all work. I don't know if the quotes are actually necessary, but they certainly help. So, because the problem I had was sometimes if you do the sign in the prompt, it puts everything else in the prompt in it too. So I found that having the multi-line really helped to keep the actual sign text separate. But, you know, the more complicated it is, the more of a challenge it is to figure out where is best to put the token. But here you go. We've got a little watermarklet. It's fair enough. Did we actually negative watermark? No, we didn't. That's cool. So from this point, what I'm thinking is, cool, I've got my cool image, right? So now what I want to do is I want to add an upscaler, because at the moment this is only 1366 by 768, right? Or 1344. So we'll make a bit of space. Now I'm going to go over to one of my other workflows. I think this is actually a test SD3 workflow that I made all of those images with. But we're going to do a control select around the SUPIR section, because you probably know where this is going if you've seen any of my videos before. Chuck that one in there. Pull him to about here. There's one more thing I want to steal, which is this. And that would be the high-res switch. So the way the SUPIR toggle works, this is actually a fast groups bypasser. And what we're going to do is we're going to match it with red today. So match colors red, just like that. Red. Cool. So then what we're going to do is we're going to make a new group, and we're going to call it SUPIR. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click the group. Trust me, it's there. I know it's small. And we're going to make it red. So now we've got a red group. Now anything inside this group will get toggled to bypass when it's when this is set to no. If I say yes, turns it all on. And so what I've done is I've set up it's like a module. So what we do is we go to our output, hook it up to the relay. There we go. And what it's going to do is it's going to do an image resize. Now, currently it's capped, so it'll do 4K, but it won't do 4K square. So if you have 16:9, you should get full 4K, but you won't get square because it's going to cap it at 2160 height. And it mostly does that to save VRAM, because to be honest, it does get a bit crazy. We're going to be using the SUPIR VOQ FP16 for this. There's details in my SUPIR video. You can use any SDXL checkpoint with SUPIR. I'm going to be using a merge of RealViz and Juggernaut. So that's Real Jugs. All right. Now I'm using an empty prompt for my positive and empty negative as well. Empty positive and negative. My Loras are currently off. All right. But we'll get into that. And you see the Hyper, we got Hyper on, and that means we can run SUPIR at like 8 steps. Okay. Right. And that's pretty much the long and short of it, guys. If you've seen this SUPIR setup before, you know that it's got the preview left and right. Thanks, RG3. And what it's going to do is it's going to chuck things into, right, we need to show you that as well. So first of all, I want to name it slightly differently, so we get a slightly different look from today's session. So if I go underscore SD3 and then /3 / SD3 HD, could say 4K, but it's fine. HD is fine, right? And then I'm going to copy that. And then over on the other one, we're going to take off the HD. There it is. And so today's session will go into a single folder, underscore SD3. The first pass will be called SD3. The second pass will start at SD3 HD. And then you can easily pick out the ones that you bothered to upscale, right? So our seed is fixed. So all we have to do is make the image again. Then what I do is I tend to disable it. You can put this anywhere as well, which is quite nice. So what I end up doing is sort of putting it over near the prompt somewhere. So it's easy to sort of just operate the seed and the prompt. So maybe over here, right? And that's about it. And then you can, like I said, go back to exploring, looking for good seeds and whatnot, good prompt combinations, without having to, upscale every single one and without having to like zoom out. I swear I nearly broke the roller wheel on this mouse from zoom out, zoom in, control bypass. And because, you don't really want to have to do all of that. So this enables you to just toggle it on and off. So if you get a good image, you just do the toggle, and then do it again, and then toggle it off, you know, go to the next seed, whatever it is. All right, so there we go. We'll go to the next seed. It's nearly finished, and I think it should be near enough the same. Let's just turn it on so we can get the preview. Oh, what does a SUPIR do, ladies and gentlemen? So if we now give some analysis to this, we have the original and the SUPIR. So let's zoom in and see what it did. As you can see, it seems to have brought up the gloss and sharpness generally. Obviously, you're going to get some sort of weird details some places because it is SDXL, but the idea is it's just going to give it a nice little pass here. And it's going to do that sort of, it's adding photographic noise in a lot of situations, which is why it looks a bit better. I don't know if you see that, but it kind of looks a bit artificial and fake coming straight out of SD3. But if you actually look after the SUPIR, it's adding in this weird noise pattern, which, like I said, just helps it look a little bit less artificial. Let's see if we can check out the skin. See the difference. Yeah, look, you can see the difference clearly there. If anything, it's a little bit overbaked, but you could probably fix that by like maybe turning down some of this. But we'll get into that. So, what is it? Suddenly a rainstorm. I'm trying to show people what is going on with SD3 right now. Now, I hope I can be heard over the rain. We've been having a heat wave over here in Britain. It's been pretty awesome. But anyway, so what we're going to do is we're just going to show you the Lora stuff now, right? So basically, so far, we've just been running off the model, and all of these test prompts, they were all made using captions from my Loras, like this image is actually from Not the True World. If it ever loads. Don't mind the watermark. It's normal. The watermark's awesome. So basically, this is one of the Not the True World test prompts run through the base with no Lora. And I'm looking into training Loras for SDXL, but after having had some success using old Loras with new models and so on, I noticed that this is using clip G and L, which is what SDXL used. So even though we're not being able to do anything with the T5XXL, I'll show you what I mean. So from this workflow that we've got built, duplicated the tab, and then I've added some stuff. So I've put in a Crunchyroll apply Lora stack. I've fed the clips into it, the model into it, and then the model went to the shift, which is at 3. And then I've taken the clip into my SD3 encoder, as we've shown, which is coming off the reroute into the text box with our prompt, and also into the negative. And so then you've basically ended up with, we've got it on 16:9 as well. All right, so everything's set up nice. Now, for my third multi-line prompt, I've just literally taken a caption from Not the True World. And then in my Lora stack, I have Not the True World loaded at 0.35. Now, I haven't done the dummy test yet, so let's join. You can join me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bypass my Lora, generate the image. It's on fixed. There's no other seeds. And we're going to see what we get. See what I mean? So that's with the same prompt, but the Lora's not loaded. Okay. And all it's really picked up on is spacecraft. Spacecraft is all, well, I guess Cityscape is there. But anyway, you'll see what I'm saying. So Moon Builder style, right? I haven't put any extra weight on it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to re-enable the Lora stack. And we're going to remake that image. And it's going to be different. Now, there are no pictures of ladies in that particular style, so all it's done is it's drawn a monastery in the sky, because she is the moon right now, I guess. So, without changing the weight of the prompt and stuff, and so, for example, if I just clear this out real quick, let's make a note which has the old prompt in it so we can go back to it. And I'm just going to clear off everything else. So we're just going to run the trigger for the Lora. So we can clear this up. Is it loading SDXL Loras? In a limited degree. Oh, yeah. In a limited degree, it is. Let's see. So we'll just block the Lora again. Do we get a different image? Yes, we do. Instead of being a real moon, it was a constructed moon. The entire Lora for that style is pictures of moons being built in the sky. So it's not really correct, but it is different. So it's doing something. You know, you can see that it's doing something. So let's try a different prompt from the style. This is the point where what I would do to save time, because I don't want to be jumping in and out and copying all the time. I would do something like this. So I'd just pull this back, come here, and I'd say search, and I'd say random, and we'll see that down here we've got random line. Now you could use the same seed. I'm just going to let it use it. So you can like put a seed controller into it and then have the control like, but it's so close right here. I'll just use this one, right? So text random line string, and then we put the string into our reroute. There we go. And then I can put multi-line in here. Now I know this is a bit strange because it's sort of like, but doesn't SD3 do multi-line? And I guess it does. So maybe that would stop you from using this. But right now, what I want to do is I want to test a whole bunch of my prompts without having to, like, you know, copy paste them all one by one by one. So this way I can just put the entire caption set, which I have, it's like 286 lines. I can just put the entire thing, in it goes. And then I can come over here. Let's say we want to do 8 images. All right. And then off it goes. And every single time it's going to choose a different prompt. And then I'll get a sort of little grid of images. It's going to go through them. Now, right now, the Lora is not loaded. So this is all like what I was generating for my gallery, which I keep going on about. But I do try to keep it up to date so you guys can take a look. So here it goes, doing its best to try and make those prompts, even though it doesn't really have any knowledge of what those triggers are or anything. Okay. So when it's done, there'll obviously be different seeds. They're not going to be worth comparing, but, oof, heck, interesting stuff. Okay, it's pretty good. So now what we'll do is we'll turn the Lora on. And off it goes. What I'm seeing is bias towards photographic and illustrations. But the weird thing is it's doing a really good job of trying to make the images, even though it clearly doesn't understand the data. So I would say that it's not loading the Lora properly at all. There are a whole bunch of errors. No. It's crazy. So, like, sometimes it's loading something, sometimes it isn't. But like I said, if I was to do it seed for seed and just turn the Lora on and off, I've actually got the Lora very weak right now. So it's going to bump up the strength of the Lora, do another 8. Because it looks like it is trying to load them, but it's loading them in a really strange way. Like, see what I mean? It's like it's not a photographic style, but the photographic's there. So these are getting closer to what was trained, but the model is so strong. So yeah, see, how are we getting the same? We just got the same image. I swear we got one of those a minute ago. We're getting images like this as well. So it's, ooh, what the heck? Doing some weird stuff. Oh boy. Yeah, that's not good. And there's your blimp again. There are no blimps in the Lora, by the way. So this is actually really interesting. It's almost like it tries... Do you know what I wonder? I wonder, could we just pull the T5 off? Will it take a poop? Yeah, it will. That's a shame. I thought there might be a way to just, you know, run it without that, but I guess you could... No. I mean... yeah, that's right. We could do 0 out, maybe. 0. That's for conditioning, though, so that doesn't work. You can't do 0 conditioning. What I could do is I could disconnect it and then just give it a string literal, which is empty. Give it an empty string, and let's see what it does then. So it's only using G and L now. Basically disable, well, it's not really, it's using an empty prompt in T5, so it's still using it. It's just like, now it's using the sort of reimagine. That's what reimagine was, empty prompting image to image. So I guess this is like a weird pseudo version of that. So it is using the T5, but I haven't actually given it any tokens. So this is quite interesting. It's definitely not loading data from the Lora, though. The big test is going to be if I put anime captions in for Thora. Oh, no, it makes stuff like this on its own. That's not mine. See, the point is, it's acting like a textual inversion. It's the tokens are there, but they're not hooking up to any learning. So it's almost like... these are the correct images for the words, but they're not the images that I trained in, you know? So this is a case of, this is a tree with a city in the background with a bird in the sky, but it's not my tree and it's not my city and it's not my bird, if that makes sense. So that would be the difference. If the Lora was loading correctly, it would be my image, you know, my imagery, not whatever the heck it's pulled out of its memory, right? So... okay, so the point is limited use, okay, until Lora training arrives, limited use, all right? I would say, because it's not like, it's not really working at all, you know, to be perfectly honest. It's almost like a badly trained Lora that kind of does make images, but it doesn't really make the images it was trained on, which sometimes is done for a reason, but I'm just saying, like, so let's just re-hook up the all 3 of them there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to this test prompt. Okay, so we've given you the upscaler, we've shown you the random prompt. I'm actually going to disable the random prompt now so that we can just use this big prompt they've let us have here. And let's just have a little bit of fun with this. So how about we say a mechanical female character with short, I'm just going to mess a few things up, curly hair, shirt curly hair, I can't spell, shirt curly hair that appears to be made of cables, swirling wires in patterns resembling the golden mean or golden square. That makes sense, right? Or just say spiral, because otherwise it's going to probably get like confused and do all kinds of other stuff. With neon lights. The background is dominated by deep. I mean, blues and purples is pretty good. Creating a mysterious and dramatic atmosphere. Okay, character's face is serene. Pale skin. She was a dark colored outfit was with detailed patterns of science fiction, boy. Science fiction or cyberpunk. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, originality. Okay, so what I'm going to do then is I'm going to remove this and this and then just say Booker. We've got it on fixed seed, so I'm going to basically put it on a random and get 8 of these bad boys. Got a bit of a long neck issue by the looks of it. Bit of a weird giant head. This is just aspect ratio issues. It probably prefers to be like 4:3. Some other more normal, you know, you don't tend to get this sort of, I bet it was trained on not 16:9 basically. Or it has a bias to like 4:5 or something like that. Matter of fact, well, let's just have a look and find out. Because you'll get completely different images out of the same seeds more often than not if we just change the ratio here. So we want to go for probably portraits, right? I would have probably gone with 5:4, but let's go with 3:4 or 5:6. I don't know, 3:4 should be okay in portrait. So let's go again. Yeah, that's really good. That's really quite natural, actually. A lot of the scale problems are sorted out by aspect ratio. You know, it's just the wrong aspect ratio. Just try changing the aspect ratio until you get a good one. Because like I said, these are all fire. They could go up for upscaling. Ooh, we're getting a little bit of the long neck problem still. So it's not 100%, but it's definitely better. Wow, wait a minute. Doesn't that look like Deadpool's girlfriend? Every now and then they look very... It's strange. You can't really do art styles and names of people as well anymore, but I'm sure community models will come out to give you something close. And there's always Face ID. We're going to look at Reactor again as well, so we might take a quick stab at that, but I've got a feeling that this is actually so much better. You're going to need IP adapter Face ID, and we could put a pipeline here. We might have a little look at see at that, because it's almost like there's no IP adapter for SD3 yet, but that doesn't mean never. And that would happily sit here, right? So, and then it would feed into the SUPIR. But what I reckon we're going to do is we're just going to take a couple of these good ones. So I think that one, no, wait, hang on. The first one was probably one of the best. But just for the sake of argument, so we'll chuck that one in there, just drag it in, and make sure we're on fixed seed. And then activate the SUPIR toggle. And off it goes. Oh, should have turned off auto queue there, so it's going to make a whole bunch of the same. We'll just delete the dupes. And we're basically going to upscale this one to 4K by, you know, maximum 4K or 2160. Well, actually, it'll be the maximum 2160 height. So I don't know, whatever 2160 height is at the aspect ratio we chose, this should be reasonable. Should be reasonable. And then we can have a little lefty-righty, see what the improvement was. So the next step, of course, is to do a little bit of investigation. So what we're going to do, I don't know why my images aren't loading, but I've gone over onto Civet AI, gone to my profile. So if you go over to there, it's probably linked in the description. What I've got is the V7 pack. So what I've done is I've downloaded the pack, unzipped it, and I've got the trio style instant ID. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my workflow that we're not working on anymore. This is why I have 2 tabs open. And we're going to have a little look-see here. So what do we got? So it's running RealViz, it's got IP adapter, it's got clip vision, instant ID. It makes the actual thing. There's your prompt. Okay, and this is a really weird way of using instant ID. I swear this isn't the one I want. Hang on. Is this instant ID? There's instant ID. That's the... okay, so that would have been the image. Right, okay. So if I just take that, I'm going to control click on the stuff that I want to keep. Yeah. Probably want that as well. And then I'll take these as well. Like that. And then I just copy them. Oh my goodness me. Look at that trio business. All right. So if I come up here and I just put that up there, we can have a little bit of fun with that in a second. So let's have a look at the difference. So again, left, right, left, right, left. Actually looked a little, the skin looks a little bit better, I think, with, what I'd probably do is I'd take both images and then I'd, well, you can't really. See, what you'd have to do is you'd have to do a dumb upscale to the same size as what this is. And then you could kind of paint, you could brush mask the bits that you want. Because there certainly are bits that are better in this version. But there are also some nice details in the original. I think that was SD3 and this is a SUPIR. Obviously, SUPIR is a much larger image. It's kind of unfair to compare them like that. Do you know what? We could make a better comparison here. So let's just see what we're doing. So we're taking image B, image B, image A, image A, image B. So if I take image A and I do a resize plus, we want to do a dumb upscale to the same size. So let's take resize plus plus, and we're going to say 4096 by 2160. This is something which I probably should have addressed. Multiples of 64. Okay, so it's doing the same thing as SUPIR, but just, you know, with nearest exact, right? And then we use that for the A instead. Yeah. And so then it's not comparing a small image with a large image, which isn't really fair. So do that. There we go. That's better. Right. So now we can see the difference. So image A, right, actually, yeah, hang on. Yeah, so image A. So this is the SUPIR. That's SUPIR. That's SD3. So do you know what? It actually looks better. Does it look better without doing the upscaler and just making it bigger? It kind of does. I'm going to have to do another image here and see. So let's see. This one. I've made a bunch of changes. I don't want to lose them. I'll just make a bunch more. So basically, we will turn off the upscaler for speed and make 8 more prompts. Okay, there we go. I wanted you to just sort of look over my shoulder for this one, guys. Guys and gals. I don't want to exclude anybody. But yeah, basically, you can find all of the images. All the images that we generate today are going to go up into a folder, into this folder as well. So you'll be able to check them out. Don't forget to check out the radio station. And enjoy the photo gallery, as I say. All right, let's just get back to it. So here we go. Okay, so it's making a whole bunch more. Right, so that one's fun. So if I drop, oh, she moved. If I drop that one in, put it on fixed seed, turn the SUPIR on, take the batch off and run it, I will get that character again. There she is. Bit younger than I thought when I picked her out of the lineup, but whatever. And then it's going to go through the upscaler. Now, there were a couple of things which I wanted to show, because obviously I said it's trying to load the Lora on the other side, but it's doing it completely wrong. And something which I haven't done is load it on the upscaler. Because the thing is, I have it there. I could put this on, and we're going to do this in a second. And so if I was to pick one of my styles, let's go with an ancient style, because it's just buildings and stuff. Because there's nothing for it to build upon, really. It doesn't really get that much ability to do anything. But this is something which is in the training, right? So it's yeah. It'd be interesting to see if it does anything. So I'll let that run, and while it's running, let's look at this. Yeah. The weird thing is that you can't really just brush it out, because if you notice, it's moved a bit. So you couldn't really just brush it out, if that makes sense, because it doesn't line up, you see? So you can't just do the brushing trick. Well, you can, but it would take a bit more effort, because you have to kind of stretch it a bit, I think. I would say that the SUPIR smooths it quite a lot. That see, we've lost the pixelation. I just want to make sure that I am looking at the correct. So that's the SUPIR. It's very smooth, yeah. So this is because we've done a dumb upscale on the last image to get it to the same size. So you can see what SUPIR is actually doing, and then you can see that, yeah, it is worth doing. You know what I mean? Like, that is pixelated. This is not pixelated, right? And you can argue about, you know, maybe you prefer it like this, because sometimes the skin textures do actually pop a little bit better when they're pixelated because of the noise. But the thing is, you can add noise. You can brush noise over a smooth surface if you want. Right, anyway. I don't want to go nuts. But this detail is something else. And the smoothness as well. I can't zoom in any further than that. I'd have to get, I guess, Photoshop or something to check it. Right, so it looks like I ran that image and it made no difference. So yeah, I wouldn't even bother. Probably turn the strength up and stuff, but I've got I like lossless upscaling, so it's like it's funny. You can't really say lossless because you do lose detail in the smoothing, right? You kind of do lose detail, but I think it's sort of like an acceptable way to sharpen up an image when you can paint out the harshness. I don't know. I like it anyway. I think it works great. So, no Lora training yet. So let's get on to the next experimente. So this would be basically plugging in, if I just do the same model that we're currently using for the upscaler, what we want to do is we want to use instant ID with IP adapter, and then there's the image for the face ID. So I guess what would happen is we'd take the image off and I'd get a reroute. And I put this into into the IP adapter advanced. That's what. Looks like this is going to need a bit more work, so I'm just going to put this to one side for now. But essentially, I think it should work. It's just a bit of a faff, because when you get the image out, you're going to throw it into your upscaler again. But what we're trying to do is face swap this image. The reason I wanted to try and use this was because I think that this is a little bit better than my previous go-to, which was, of course, Reactor. Reactor. It looks like they've made a whole different thing. Oh, what's this? Restore face. Okay. Save image. Let's see what happens, shall we? Well, that was quick. What did it do? It's not doing SUPIR, is it? Yeah, it is. Stop it. Right, so I guess that was that, and then we went to is that? I mean, yeah, that actually did. What? That made it just the whole image is better. What? The whole image is actually better. That's really cool. Okay, so we can just put restore face on there, and that's going to improve the image just in general. So let's now go across again and get another reactor. They've obviously updated all of this. Face swap options. Okay, so the input image is that. The source image would be the actual face of the person, I guess. So load image. Then I'm going to need to get the face of a person. Need to get the face of a person. So we put that on there. Now, do we have to crop it square? We might have to crop it square. Does it do that here and there? Face restore model. We've already got it. So I swear it's got Resnet and InSwapper there. Retina face. So could use code former. I think I'll leave it for a minute. Okay, let's just try it. And then put the save image on there. Yeah. All right. So will it make her look a bit more Asian? Okay, so the answer is yes, but you need a high-res face. So I'm going to see if I can try and find one real quick. Finally. Takes forever to dig through the archives these days. So we've got ourselves a different face. So let's just run it again. Ooh, okay, so it's tried to make it as much like this sort of anime style, I guess. And that's bad. So maybe what we should do is try 2048. 2048. It looks like it might have reduced it too much. Stop SUPIR. Let's just turn SUPIR off real quick. There we go. Okay. So this one was a good move. This one doesn't. Reactor's a bit. Okay, that was a little bit better, but see, if I turn off that, it chugs a bit because it tries to process the giant image, which isn't really what you want. Like if I just turn this off, process, maybe it's not so big. So there we go. It's still horribly pixelated. So we could try putting code former on. Oh, no, actually, I was wrong. It made a big difference. So that's not too bad, you know. And then, of course, what you want to do is you probably want to put this on the other side. So I'll just disable that one and take the two, put them both, and then run it through, re-enable that one, and off we go. So let's have a look and see how it did with the restore on the face. It's not bad. We've got a bit of weird pixelation around there. Okay, but this is an AI generated face. If you had an actual 4K photo, it's probably going to do a better job, but it's certainly trying to put this person in the picture. It would be, if you used a celebrity face or someone you know, you'd be able to see if it was close enough immediately, but unfortunately I can't do that. You can do it at home though. You can do what you want at home. Just don't put it on the internet. Right, so what we've got now is we've generated our person. We did the restore, and it does do a great job, actually. Just having the restore face actually does a great job at sort of tightening it up. I want to test it with different images, though. Doing the face swap has to be done first, though, and then tighten it up after, and that actually looks all right. I mean, look, I realize it's not a photographic style, okay? So that's my fault. So if I was to just change this to make it a little bit more photographic. What if I said photorealistic? I don't know if that's really going to do the job, but you can swing and miss, can't you? So, because at the moment it's very anime. Still very anime. So what I might do is put cartoon and anime in here. I mean, it probably won't listen. Cartoon anime. Off we go. Okay, it's a little bit better. It's still very fake looking. That's pretty bad. That is a bit better, but it just doesn't quite. There's something about it that doesn't quite fit. I can't put my finger on it. Maybe it's the angle of the face and the proportion of the forehead to the rest of to the crown. So perhaps we just need to generate a different pose. So let's try another one, see what we get. Okay, so she's side on. Obviously that's the same image because that's not doing anything. Okay, that's the actress. Okay, it's doing its best to try and make it fit. Now you got to bear in mind we're using SDXL to do the face swap. So it would be nice if we could use, no, we're not using SDXL. Sorry, we're using Reactor, which is in Swapper ONS Retina Face. It does seem like, you know, if you don't want to do the face swap business, seems like we don't need this. Probably do if you're using a photo though, because you don't want to make a 4K image straight into face swap. If I was to mute that off, so we don't do the face swap, right? It's not really making a robot either. It's just making, so can we say a robot? We don't want the character's face and skin because that's probably confusing. All right, let's give it a blast. She's become more robotic, but still has a human face. And in this image, that is a bit nicer. See, what I would do there, I mean, the funny thing is, because all this is bypassed, you can just take the line from here now. And this is fine. It's just going to take this image and pass it through. So, are we on fixed again? Yeah, we are. So if I say, oh, okay, that's cool. I want to upscale that. Yes. Remember to turn it back off again. And then we can go back to looking for cool images. All right. Obviously, if you want to do the comparison, you'll need to keep it enabled because obviously when it's bypassed, you can't really see it. So let's zoom in on it. So remember, we're comparing a dummy upscale, which is roughly the same aspect ratio to whatever SUPIR has given us. So taking a look, we should be able to get this done. So we have the A and we have the B. The B image would be the dumb upscale. The SUPIR image would be this one, which is, again, really smooth, right? So if I go and look at it, dumb upscale looks like this. You can see the pixels. SUPIR looks like this. So as you can see, there's certain tells. The way that the line is so crisp that it wants to keep going. But the thing is, when you zoom out, it looks natural. The shadow lines. Sometimes I think it's a little bit overdrawn. Like the lining is really quite thick. But I think that when you zoom out, it does have quite an effect. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. All right. She's still not enough of a robot. She's still super feminine. And the thing is, if I look at the prompt, is there anything else we can cull from this? She. Okay, she. A robot character with short curly cables. I don't see the short curly K. I guess that's in the background now. So let's just get rid of them. Let's get rid of all that, right? A robot character. She wears she. So we've got she. So if I say wearing, to make it a little more ambiguous, then there's not really much there to make it like, hey, this is a woman. Draw a woman. So let's see what it'll do. You'd think we get a robot now, but hey, okay, we finally got a robot. Cool. And then it's done a little bit of a fix. And then it's going to go into the upscaler. All right, that's fine. That's fine. It's a little bit overdone again. I do like the color range. We're getting really nice dark shadows. One thing SDXL wasn't very good at was true black. So we'll let the upscaler do its job. I think we're approaching a good workflow. I might drop the face ID, the Reactor face stuff, because even though it does work, it does pixelate a lot, and you probably would want to do a different something different. So I would expect there's going to be some kind of SD3 support for face swapping, so we'll keep an eye on that. Reactor works great with SDXL, but it has to match. Do you know what I mean? If it doesn't match, it stands out. I mean, it's possible that SUPIR might have fixed it. Did I ever actually do it? Too late. Never mind. The point is, this is actually better at doing a face swap if you set it up right. So we're also going to get that out of there as well because it's incomplete. So that means that this, what was it? This image is, whoa. There we go. This image is now going to supply the upscaler. So we'll put that there. You can use any SDXL checkpoint. I just use my merge of RealViz and Juggernaut, also known as RealJugsXL. And Hyper. We used Hyper. Hyper SUPIR. All right. And then we combine that with the SD3 medium with the T5. We've explored looking at the Loras, but nah, doesn't really work. Okay. It does make a difference, but it doesn't really work. So yeah, it's making different images, but they're not like controllable as in towards what they were trained on. It's kind of like what happens when you don't train a Lora right, and it just kind of goes a bit crazy. So even though that's cool, and I bet some Loras, probably overtrained Loras, will have more effects on making it different. But it doesn't like follow the prompt or go towards what it was trained on. So it's not really that useful. We had a look at the aspect ratios. We had a look at the random line stuff. So I'm going to leave all of that in there. And we're going to put this up as a new workflow pack. So look out for that. There will be a link in the description. And that's just about everything I've got for you. So why not head over to the website, check out the other features. Don't forget to join the Discord, subscribe to the channel for more. And I'll see you in the next one.